What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie BBQ. What I'm going to be doing today is going to be some barbecue ribs. What I'm going to be using on them is some Suckle Busters Texas pecan rub with homemade Kentucky bourbon barbecue sauce. The ribs I got were on sale. They're a little oddly cut. I'm going to bring you guys in so we can all be surprised at how these ribs look when I pull them out. Anyway, let's come in and get started. Really, we're going to be looking at kind of a simple cook on this. Like I said, we're going to be using some mustard as our binder. We're going to have this Suckle Busters Texas pecan rub as our rub. Brown sugar is going to come in later, as well as the squeezed butter and the honey. And the barbecue sauce will also. What I'm interested to see is how these ribs look. So let's get into these ribs. I got these ribs at a place called Sprouts. Actually, you know what? They're not that bad. They're kind of miniature. They call them spare ribs. They're $1.99 a pound. So that's kind of what they're looking like here. So these are all bones here. Same thing here. I'm going to have to do some trimming on that, but I'm fine with that at $1.99 a pound. Let's open up this other pack. See what's up. Alright, so that's almost a St. Louis cut. It might be a little wide. I'd probably cut it down here, but you know what? I'm going to leave this whole. And this little thing here is kind of a rib tip. So I'm fine with that at $1.99 a pound. This is what we're rolling with. What I'm going to do, because this membrane and all this kind of looks like I may need to get in some trimming, I'm going to trim it. We'll pick it up when I'm done trimming. Then we'll get cooking. I've had a chance to look at these ribs, and you know what? Sprouts should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. I ended up having to trim a bunch of fat off of this. I mean, this rib tip, you know, whatever, but these just were not good ribs. So maybe I should title this How to Turn Raggedy Ribs into Some Good Looking Ribs. So anyway, let's get this stuff kind of going. I'm going to get this, just a little thin layer of mustard on here, very thin. These ribs are going to have a chance to sit probably for about another hour and a half, 2 hours before I throw them on the smoker. So we really don't need a binder on it, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Now that we have our mustard on there, we're going to kind of go over it with this Suckle Busters pecan rub that my man Surfin' Sapo sent me. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to his channel in the description and in the iCard above. Good guy, cooking up a bunch of good food. Run by there and tell him that No Hippie BBQ said what's up. Alright, let's flip these over. And when I'm done with this, like I said, these are going to have a chance to sit for a couple hours. I'm going to start firing up. I'm going to do this on my Weber Smokey Mountain. So I'll start getting that lit in about another hour. So like it's time for me to go ahead and get this thing started. I am running with some regular Kingsford charcoal with a little bit of lump that I had left over and some apple wood that I had cut down off my tree. Anyway, it's kind of flaming up a little bit because I took the top off, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cook. I'm not going to use the water pan at all. So I'm trying to cook these at closer to 300 degrees. Anyway, I'm going to get this stuff on and we'll check back. Ribs on the smoker. Now, one of the reasons I'm not using that water pan even as a barrier is because I'm going to try to cook these closer to that 300 mark, maybe even a touch over 300. So without the water pan there as a barrier, we should be good to go on that. I'm probably going to let these cook for about 3 hours before I pull them off. So we'll pick it up then. So here we go. We've been at about 275 roughly. We're about 2.5 hours in. Let's take a look. So that's kind of, well, if you can see through the smoke, that's kind of what we're looking like outside of them being cut up all raggedy. they do have some good color on them. Off the smoker, they went for about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Have a little bit of brown sugar down here. Let's go ahead and hit it with a little bit of this squeeze butter. Come back over it with some of this honey. That should be good to go. Grab one of these racks. We're going to put this rack meat side down. Now on the back side, I'm just going to come over it with this bourbon barbecue sauce. And now I'm just going to go ahead and wrap. And these are going to go back out on the smoker for about another hour. And at that point we should be done with the cook, just down to the final glaze. Come off the smoker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain off this liquid off of all of these ribs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this with the Kentucky bourbon barbecue sauce that I made, and that is going to be our glaze. So I'm going to finish draining these off and then get them glazed up. The liquid that was drained off of the ribs here, I'm just going to add just a little bit of barbecue sauce to that, and this barbecue sauce is a lot better than I thought. Just going to go ahead and baste it on here. Now they already look like they look good. I'm just putting this on for one extra layer. And these are going to go back on the smoker. The smoker's at about 200 degrees right now. I'm just going to stick them out there for about 15-20 minutes. Firm them up a little bit. Final product right here. Like I said, these were not the best cut ribs, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. Nice glaze on them. I think I'll be able to take a little bite off of one of these for a taste test, but these are for somebody else. Ribs, and I probably won't be able to take the bite that I want, but I do see a little end here, so I'm going to cut this little end off and give it a taste. If the bone doesn't get in the way, which it did. Anyway. I really like that barbecue sauce. I will be making that barbecue sauce again. But two things I got out of this. Don't buy ribs from Sprouts on sale unless you want these monstrosity cut up ribs like this. But you know what? That's just all about the appearance, but the taste, I'm telling you, they're spot on. I love the color. Let me take another piece. Those are excellent ribs. Anyway, man, you gotta make this barbecue sauce. Check out that video in the iCard above in the description. That's some good barbecue sauce. Anyway, man, this is so good. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.